Hello everyone, this is Kiana from the Oracle Chamber. Welcome to your full moon horoscope in Scorpio, happening today, April 26, 2021. I know I didn't show up for the new moon in Aries. I was going through my own redefining process, which was what that new moon was bringing to us. Even though I am an astrologer, I am susceptible to feeling the energy just as much as everyone else. So I think with as much fire as we were having at that time, this is a new start. I'm rebranding this business. You know how you feel like how you're presenting yourself is not the way you want to present yourself. That's a little bit of what I'm going through right now. And for all of us, this full moon in Scorpio happening, along with Pluto retrograding tomorrow, April 27th, which is the ruler of Scorpio. All of us are at this point where we're ready to shake off the old, shed the old skin, the old self, lay it to rest, and begin a new chapter. So I'm going to try to make this video really quick because I only have 20 minutes on this new camera that I have, which I don't really know how to use quite yet, but as I said before, we all need something new right now. So major things happening. The full moon in Scorpio, I think it's at 7 degrees. I should have come prepared with that, but I didn't. It's squaring over to Saturn in Aquarius, which is also squaring over to, of course, the Taurus energy. Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Uranus all in Taurus, which is like a polar opposite of what we were feeling just a couple weeks ago when everything was in Aries, right? Now things are starting to get a bit more slow. We have Mars in Cancer now outside of Gemini, and Gemini was kind of collecting all of these different things that we want to do, right? All of these different visions, all of these different chapters that we can open up. It's playing with different ideas and different concepts. It's very, it's an air sign, so of course it's going to test and experiment. But now Cancer is the sign of absolute focus, not only on the outside and outside achievement, but of course, deep, deep inside of our souls, what we actually really feel. And the full moon in Scorpio emphasizes that, of course, but Pluto retrograde is making us dig even deeper. And at some point, Mars will oppose Pluto since it is in Capricorn. That's not happening this week or anytime soon, really. But it's still the same energy. We're in the opposite of Capricorn with this Martian energy, which is our forward momentum, how we express ourselves, what we're doing on a daily basis. It's a totally different energy now. We realize that we need more focus. We need to work through our emotions. We need to know what our real emotions even are, and shed off a lot of dead weight. So, sort of my own intuition for this full moon is it is correlating back to when Saturn was in Scorpio between the end of 2012 to, I think, I don't quite remember. I think it's the end of 2015. But those issues, those Saturnian issues of survival and power and control over our lives, and needing to defend ourselves against something, against death, as the more morbid version of that transit. Whatever our issues are regarding our own survival, our own sense of self-preservation, and especially with all of this energy in Taurus opposing it and Aquarius energy squaring it, it's all coming up to the surface now to be looked at, to be reviewed. All of those subconscious issues regarding how you control yourself, how you defend yourself against the outside world. Again, my intuition regarding issues of survival really stems from a feeling or a fear of powerlessness, not being able to control our earthly reality, or what we manifest, or that we're going to manifest the wrong thing, or things will circumstances will happen that are outside of our control, that put us in danger, put us in harm's way. That sort of gut level reaction where we're not in control of our own lives. And that sort of like anything could happen. That's all being brought up right now. Where in your life have you been holding back, or also giving too much energy away, where you're on the flip side being too self-sacrificing, or not holding yourself in high value to where you are preserving yourself, preserving your energy. Because of course we have all this Taurus opposing it, and Uranus in Taurus is requiring us all to level up to a new physical reality, a new way, tapping into our ability to manifest. This is kind of like the Magician card in tarot, where we have to look deep inside of ourselves, and we can't. Scorpio is power, right? And that power can either come from outside forces, demonic possessions, things that we can't control, things that just, can murder us or save us. But ultimately, Scorpio's greatest strength, and this is when it gets into its phoenix phase, is when it taps into the power rooted inside of itself. When it rises up out of the ashes, out of the death, and it realizes that it cannot ever be killed, really. It cannot ever be destroyed, because it is power. It is life, opposite sign Taurus, right? But the life that has no end, that is immortal. We're shedding those old subconscious fears that we are not in control of our reality, that we have no power to manifest what we truly desire. And it's bringing up desire a lot, not only because it's Scorpio, but also because this full moon is in a T-square between the Sun and Uranus and Taurus opposing it, but also Saturn and Aquarius squaring both of these aspects. So the way out of a T-square, to release the tension of a T-square, which is all about decision making, right? We take the apex, which is Saturn, squaring both the Sun and the Moon, and we look at what's opposite that, the missing leg, which is Leo. We have no planets in Leo right now. And at the core of that is we're missing our heart. We're missing what truly brings us alive. We're missing our passion. We're missing our soul, our true happiness. What is true happiness? This, the Scorpio energy, when it's in that survival mode, it can't think about happiness. Happiness is kind of like a luxury or frivolity because it's just focused on survival, right? It needs to make it, no matter whether they're happy or miserable. It's suffering on a soul level. So now we can choose to either be, as we're shedding off this old skin and realizing that we are entering a new reality. We're entering a new chapter, and it requires us to shed that old part of ourselves, whatever that definition of self is. Even if it's just a way that you talk to yourself in your head, it needs to flip to something completely different. If you want to see something different in the outer world, which is what Taurus wants, which is what Uranus and Taurus wants us to elevate our lives. We can't just sit on the sidelines anymore, you know? We're all participants in what is being created in the world. This is choosing light over darkness. The light in ourselves over the darkness in ourselves, the subconscious fears that something's coming to get you, or something's after you, or something's going to take your power away. Something's going to take something away, you know? But it's realizing that you are your own savior here. You are your own saving grace because you have the light inside of you. You have the key that you need to enter the new chapter. And it comes from embracing what is your true love, what is your true happiness, what's your true definition of happiness. And that doesn't come from anything outside of you. I notice I always get really deep during Scorpio transits. I'm not sure why that is, but it's a recurring theme in my channel. And also to remember that I'm seeing... hold on, let me make sure the camera's still on. I saw a 4-phase lunar cycle, right? We began with the full moon in Libra, and then we had the new moon in Aries. Now we're having the full moon in Scorpio, and next we're going to be having the new moon in Taurus. And what is that? That's Venus and Mars. Right? Because Venus rules Libra and Taurus, and Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. And these are our most personal planets, our most personal desires, our most personal values, and what we really want and desire in life. It also rules reproduction, what we create, what we want and what we create, right? This is very, very personal. And you can't listen to what's happening in the world. You can't listen to the advice that people give you in the world. It's very like a gut level reaction of what it is that sets you aflame at the core of it all. That literally brings you into a state of exaltation in your life. And Taurus is about real life. It's about physical manifestation. And whatever may be seducing you subconsciously, like, I feel like I need this because it's always been this way. I can't let it go because I need it to survive. You know, that's Scorpio. But it's in realizing that the real value, the real nectar and the sustenance of life comes from living life fully. And Taurus energy is about tapping into that quintessence of your physical reality, right? Like nothing can compare to the real thing. Whatever you can imagine in your mind, and you think that that's enough, right? To just imagine it in your mind, because you feel safe there. You feel like nothing can really get it there. You know, nothing can take it away in your mind. Which, of course, we also have this square over to Saturn and Aquarius. You know, living in the White Castle or the Ivory Tower. I don't know where the White Castle came from, but I apologize. I got distracted by something. But at the end of the day, it's about realizing that nothing that you can imagine subconsciously or in your mind can compare to the actual physical manifestation of whatever it is you are imagining, or whatever it is you feel like you really, really desire, what will bring you true love and true happiness and true peace. because it's in realizing that we're all a part of the collective story, that we're all active participants in it. Even if we're not participating, that is a form of participation, right? That's what they say about voting, right? But that's a whole different topic. But in the story of humanity, the way humanity evolves is through humans, through human lives, through human potential, through human movement. And if you're not moving, then you're contributing to the death of humanity. That's a very dramatic way to put it, but at the core, that's Scorpio, right? It can either get lost as the scorpion, or it can rise as the phoenix. And that's only when it knows fully and commits wholeheartedly and passionately to its purpose, which is always collective, right? Because we are an interdependent species, which is an Aquarius story. But just remember this: if it's not real, if it's not physical reality, if it's not you moving to create something real, moving to create something physical, then that's not real happiness. If it's only in your mind, right? And you can have dreams. You know, we had this new moon in Aries, which was trining over to Mars, or sextiling over to Mars, and in Gemini, and over to Jupiter and Aquarius, and it was like this glimpse into the future, glimpse into what is to unfold over not only the coming year, but the upcoming years. What lies ahead? We got a glimpse of that, a real swift glimpse of that because of Gemini, but it was there, and it was real, and there was a lot of hope there, a lot of potential there. But you can't live in that space, especially in this energy where it is all about the gut and depth and transformation, life or death. There's a choice that has to be made, whether we're going to live in our mind or we're going to live in our heart. And our heart pumps. Our heart moves towards what it desires. And that's how we all have to be moving now, from now on. Otherwise, the rest of this year is going to suck for you, because it'll be a year controlled by others, which is not how anyone should live their life. Which is the Saturn in Aquarius story right now, where if you allow the outside world to be your authority, then it becomes, you just become a part of the machine. You're just the same as everyone else. You think the same as everyone else. You may even look the same as everyone else. There's no specialness about you. Unique edge. And that's the dark side of Aquarius, right? Where you just become an automaton versus a human being, which is Leo. But when you step into your authority, which is what Saturn requires of all of us, and it's going to be going retrograde in about over a month's time. Like, that's next, right? But if you step into your Saturn and Aquarius authority, which is ruled by Uranus and Taurus, which is all about this elevation of our life force, which is all about this diamond body incarnation, because that's what Taurus represents, right? That's a whole other topic. I won't get into that, but it's when your soul is literally incarnate on earth. It's when heaven is overlaying the physical reality. We think of Taurus as this very primal sign, which it is in its first stages, right? We all have stages in each of the signs. And that's like the baby stage of Taurus, right? Is just relying on instinct. But when we become like the Buddha, who was a Taurus, with his moon in Scorpio as well, then we rise above our physical bodies, our physical vessels, and we become immortal. And that's true happiness. When we bring our own version of heaven onto earth. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this full moon. I hope you use it productively. And I hope whatever beliefs and stories and fears that you're dealing with, you find a way to shed them, to lay them to rest, and to embrace them as a part of the story that led you to where you are now, but that you don't need them anymore where you're going now. You can't bring them with you. It sucks the life out of you. Anything that sucks the life out of you, whether outside, the outside world, the opinions of other people, toxic people in your life, exit that out. But also, maybe even more importantly, exit out the parts of you that sabotage yourself, that minimize yourself, and that keep you in the dark. And only when you confront that most basic primal fear that you have regarding the survival of your soul will you be able to emerge from that darkness and into the light. So again, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because that helps the algorithm and helps me be seen. And the more I'm seen, the more I will be making more videos. So feel free to let me know your thoughts on this full moon, what you're going through. And I will be back very shortly. I'll be doing a May 2021 horoscope for all of the signs. And I'll be going more deeply into what to expect with this upcoming eclipse season, as well as Jupiter entering into Pisces. So again, thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful full moon.